Since May 2021, Bukayo Saka hadn't missed out on an Arsenal game, but for the very first time, I'm talking about the Premier League game, he found himself missing out onto his first game as Arsenal took on Man City at the Emirates, and obviously he has been out. And news that obviously shocked the world was that on Monday he went ahead to obviously arrive at the training facility of the English national team to be assessed, and this obviously put everyone into a shock that what is Gareth Southgate and the English national team all about. But me as Rokani, because I know exactly how this is obviously tackled and tampered with, I obviously got to know that this was a move for Arsenal to see that the player obviously has some unity and warms up the atmosphere into the England national team, and then he was not obviously going to make it because we got that story, and we've gone ahead to let you know that he is back. I think Konte undergo treatment, and Arsenal expect him to be fully fit as they take on Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? Go by the names of Rokani David. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's obviously one of those days that is really chilly. Rain has been really high today, but hope we obviously hit our number of videos that we promise to obviously bring it to you. Napoli are looking at Antonio Konte to become their next manager, as Garcia looks like his career is coming to an end. And lastly, we are going to discuss something concerning the injuries surging at Barcelona, and the latest injury is that of Gavi, joining the likes of Frankie de Jong, Pedri, and very many others. Jules Konde, they're having close to 5 injuries, and the El Clasico they're going to play might see them not have close to 5 players, including Lewandowski and Rafinha. All right, so that is it. We thank God for the gift of life, and let's start it off with this. Now, the story that came in from Jacob Steinberg was that Gareth Southgate is hopeful that Bukayo Saka will be available for England's 2024 qualifier against Italy next Tuesday, and asks FA medics to assess the injury. Now, they believed that maybe something was going on to see to it that things don't go on as expected. But guess what happened? They really had to do the assessment, and they obviously got to know that Bukayo Saka is obviously an injured player, and he was supposed to obviously come in through and not show up onto the occasion. Now, we went ahead and obviously got an update from England that Bukayo Saka will play no part in England's fixture with Australia and Italy. Saka was assessed by the England medical team, and it was decided the player would continue his rehabilitation at his club. Now, this was the hugest story that we'd ever want to get from the Arsenal source, from the England source, if at all you are an Arsenal player. And it's really one of those that keeps on going on and on and on and on, and really takes you to where you deserve to be. Now, the player who missed out on the game of Man City and happened to appear at the training facility of the English national team obviously would leave every Arsenal player baffled about what the English national team was all about. But finally, they went ahead to send him back to the club to undergo his rehabilitation. But this is one of the things that I went ahead to call in for when Saka went to appear to the national duty of England, when they played Ukraine and Scotland. Now, a story was put out by Samikbo that he has a nagging Achilles injury. I called upon for the board of Arsenal, the medical team, to obviously see this player rested. And Saka has been rested now for some 20 days. He's going to be rested for some 20 days because he last kicked a ball, I think that is last week on Tuesday. And that was around, because yesterday was 10th, that was around on the 3rd, right? It was on the 3rd. That's when he last kicked a ball for the Arsenal side against RC Lons. Those are 7. Yesterday he made 7 days of rest. Then when you add on more 7 days, it's going to be the 17th of October. Those are how many? Those are 2 weeks. Those are 14 days. Then 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Remember, Arsenal is playing their game against Chelsea on 21st. Now, if Ali happens to show up for the game of Chelsea, he would have gone ahead to rest for close to 21 days. That is Bukayo Saka for you. That is really something great for the player who has been playing unending football until when he really couldn't take himself anymore. But it shows you that Arteta should manage this youngster better and better. Now, the good news is coming in from an Arsenal correspondent reporting for the Evening Standard that Arsenal expect Bukayo Saka to be fit for the clash with Chelsea after the international break. Now, with the body of Bukayo Saka being young, 22 years of age, you cannot rule this out. He might obviously be available as Arsenal takes on Chelsea, and there is no doubt about it because his body is young and has always gone ahead to show us that his recovery is always great. But even when he doesn't make it to the fitness levels to play against Chelsea, I beg Mikel Arteta and the physio team of Arsenal not to obviously rush this player back. That is it. I understand that they'll be needing his services, but we went ahead to sort of it that Arsenal beat Man City hands down when they never had Bukayo Saka, and I think they can obviously beat Chelsea without Bukayo Saka because the job of Chelsea is going to be more easier than that of Man City. And you don't need Bukayo Saka to beat Chelsea. All you have to do is you have to keep Bukayo Saka fit to obviously to it that he comes back when you need him. And I think the most important game of Arsenal they're going to play is that of Sevilla. That is it. Their game against Sevilla is really going to be so much important because that's going to be a double clash. If Arsenal win at home and lose at Sevilla, they'll be having 6 points. And if RC Lens goes ahead to obviously beat PSV, in their double tie they're going to have, they'll be having 10 points. And Arsenal will be having only 6, meaning that Arsenal will be so much out of the gap to obviously top that group. So what they need is to prepare Bukayo Saka for the 2 fixtures of Sevilla to get the maximum 6 points as required. That is it. So, against Chelsea, I see no reason for rushing him back. If he's unfit, don't get him back because Arsenal really has players to obviously fill into those positions like Gabriel Jesus. And Gabriel Martinelli returning, obviously, he gives you a spark onto the left attacking side of the midfield that you saw him harm or silence the side of Man City at the Emirates on Sunday. That is it coming in from Bukayo Saka and Arsenal. But he's expected to return as Arsenal is versing Chelsea. Now, talking of injuries, let's go a little bit to the Catalonia side and let's talk about Barcelona. A story coming in from Cadena Ser. Gavi is injured. He picked up an injury in Spain's training session today. Now, Gavi has gone ahead to join the long list of Barcelona players that are really injured. As it's happening to teams like Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, name it, it's also happening to Barcelona. When you look at Gavi, he's really young, and when you look at the amount of football he has been playing for the previous seasons, it has been really huge, and has gone ahead to really get an injury. He joins Lewandowski, Rafinha, Jules Konde, Frankie de Jong, and Pedri. So those are 6 injuries for the club of Barcelona, and they're going to struggle throughout this season because if these injuries keep coming, they are obviously going to face it rough. The El Clasico is just some games away. When you look at the El Clasico, let me see the date of the El Clasico. The El Clasico is not far off, and these players are not expected to return in time when they play Real Madrid. All right, it's going to be played on the 28th of October. You know how many days from now? 17 days from now. Those are 2 weeks from now. That's when Barcelona is expected to host Real Madrid, and obviously either they can beat them. So it's obviously very disturbing that a team like Real Madrid is not having very many injuries, and players like Jude Bellingham are fit, and they're firing all cylinders. They're going to be facing an injury-prone Barcelona side without Frankie de Jong, without Lewandowski, without Rafinha, without Gavi, without Pedri, Jules Konte. That is really very, very, very threatening, and it's carrying in a way that they might obviously be hammered by Real Madrid. But all in all, just keep it in your mind that it's not going to be an easy goal for Barcelona, because they're really having a Champions League game in between there, and they're struggling to obviously find themselves in a position of really qualifying through the group stages, because for the previous 2 Champions League seasons, they've not been going out of the group stages. That is Barcelona for you. So as it stands, wait and see how that's going to be tampered with. But it looks like the injury crisis is not only hitting the Premier League teams hard, but also the La Liga side. We look at those players: Lewandowski, Pedri, Gavi, Jules Koundé, Frankie de Jong, Rafinha. They all played in the World Cup for their respective national teams, and they played each and every game that Barcelona played last season. So when injuries come in for them, you don't obviously get surprised, because their bodies get tired, and these players are not going to get enough rest. That's why you should eat that. You would pray to it that the next season that are going to start after the Euros should obviously start a little bit late. These players should need close to some 60 days of rest. You get 60 days of rest, and obviously find themselves back in the new season, because things are obviously getting tough and tough. More games are being put up, and things are obviously getting worse and worse as far as all this is really concerned. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. That is the injury crisis situation happening at Barcelona, and let's cross to Italy. That is the Italian Serie A, as the winners of the Serie A last season, that is Napoli, have formally approached Antonio Conte today. Discussions will follow with direct talks to understand if he can be the right man to replace Rudy Garcia. No final decision made yet, as there are many crucial points to discuss before advancing with Conte. Now, I think if I told you a Napoli, and if you're gonna hate to lose, Spalletti, all you have to get is this guy, Antonio Conte. He's the right guy for the job. He has the right mentality, and he can switch this team to the levels that the president of Napoli and its supporters want it to be. Napoli have gone ahead to lose to Real Madrid in the Champions League, and all what they want to thrive in the Champions League and push hard to see to it that they even reach the finals, because last season they are knocked out by AC Milan at the quarterfinals, and that was really unacceptable amidst pedigree being put at the forefront. But you obviously have to understand that even if it's pedigree, there are things that don't obviously happen to a team that was in form, like Napoli, with lots of players that were hitting the ground running and obviously going or shooting to the right direction. So I think when they are getting in Antonio Conte, that is the best coach they can get right now on the market, because there are not very many on the market they can get to obviously get Napoli to where they deserve to be. Now, tell me your thoughts about Saka expected to return as Arsenal faces Chelsea. What do you make about it? And what do you make about the injuries at Barcelona surging, and what do you make about Antonio Conte being considered to become the head coach or the manager of Napoli in the coming days? Rokani David remains my name. I thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later. Don't forget to subscribe, because we want to hit 18,000 subscribers before the end of this month, and continue to show us love by obviously smashing the like button and hit the notification bell after subscribing, because that's the only way you're going to get notifications onto your gadget. I'm out.